Wait. Hold on, let me stop this. What did you say?
Do they know that you're doing a video?
Maybe. I don't know what they know. All I know is I know what I know. And this shit is done. Yeah. It's going to be crazy, though. I don't think they're going to expect it. I don't even think the teacher's going to expect it. We're going to see.
One second. It adjusted the view when I hit record, of course.
That's alright. Oh! Just broke my neck on camera. I'm recording too, man.
Yep. You could throw this in as bloopers at the end.
I'm definitely gonna throw this in as just the whole thing. But, I mean, excuse my language. This right here is unimportant to what I'm about to tell you today. So let's get rid of that. I know it's early morning, and none of you want to hear anything I have to say right now. Excuse the alarm clock going on in the back. I happen to live in the dorms, so someone's not here, and I don't go in people's rooms and touch their things, so I just let it ring. Right now, my group and I did a project on Gothic. I'm not really too fond of it, but I know they like wearing black, and so I might be Gothic on the low and didn't know. The people in my group would obviously me, Juice, yeah, holla at me. Aaron, Christiana, and Aubrey. She did a wonderful paper, which is my reference right now in front of me. So let's get to it, because I'm tired of talking. Originating in the 11th century and spanning in some cases into the 16th century, the Gothic era is a period of painting, sculpture, and soaring architecture. The new style was born in a monastic environment. See, I don't know these words, so bear with me. Started mainly in the churches and spreading outwards from France. The Gothic style was very expressive, intricate, and original. It appeared without any real historical influence. The period gave way to architectural masterpieces, and due to the Crusades raising importance of kings and queens, raised the prosperity of many cities. However, the style remained rational and realistic. Relationships between structure and form was an important tendency to observe. Gothic art was inspired by the world. Oh, excuse my lighter. I'm setting things on fire. Gothic art was inspired right here by the world and the artists that lived in. This developed a realism, a new realism at that. As Gothic art got its start from churches and reflected the importance of religions and people's lives, this art was a way of teaching scriptures. Scenes from the Bible would be depicted in sculptures, stained glass, and paintings. These works of visual art turned churches into museums of art, which had to effectively communicate the church teaching to rich and poor. These grand displays inspired a new style of, my computer did a little woo-woo, you know, intense. Let me get back to this. The grand displays inspired, effectively communicate the church's teachings to the rich and poor, and the grand displays inspired new style of miniature work around the 13th century that used bright, vibrant colors to attempt recreating the splendor of stained glass windows. Art of the era was sophisticated and elegant, paid dear attention to detail and line of work. The high point of painting was frescoes of Giotto di Bondone. I don't know if I said that right, but I'm quite sure I was close enough. And the Lorenzetti brothers. Bondone was very talented as a painter, creating frescoes that would later influence Michelangelo and Raphael. He had an uncanny ability. Hold on, let me scroll down. Bear with me. Alright, it says, but Don also was famous for arranging his paintings so that the viewer felt he had a place in the work itself. Paintings featured figures from the New Testament and became very complex during the late Gothic period. Paintings of hunting scenes and historical events also appeared. Sculptures is another important part of this era, obviously. As curiosity of the body produced the most recognizable style of Greek art, curiosity of a lover is what the Gothic spirit is based on. The style was affectionate and full of extravagance. This did not limit itself to human forms, but also ranged across many things and could pick out monstrous gargoyle forms or flattering and gentle body. The sculptures were complex and had the ability to mingle in the line of grotesque and elegance. This is why Gothic art as a whole is a whole hard sum up of one type. There is German Gothic sculpture, which can be seen in the Golden Door of Freiburg or the Strasbourg Cathedral, which is a famous cathedral, which I gotta get in closer. These letters is little, and I'm getting old. The cathedral, which is a famous cathedral with statues of evangelists and levels of angels. However, there is also English Gothic sculpture. The sculptures evolved from stiff and straight, became more simple and natural. They had individualized faces and full draperies. The statues had relaxed gestures and stood in natural poses. They had a very prominent role in the high and late Gothic period. Page 2. The music of the Gothic era was polyphonic from the 12th to 14th centuries. This architecture, without a doubt, is the most important part of the Gothic period. The designers worked tirelessly of the details of these massive buildings. As I summarize, basically, we get to the early international Gothic style began in the 13th century. So with the northwestern of Europe style to their artwork. I don't want to just talk you guys' ear off like I'm just reading this down the book, or down the paper, or anything like that, because I kind of want to like go into a few things also myself. So I'm summarizing it up now. I just want to give you guys a little information. If you really want to find out more about it, I have a few references and links that you can also look up a lot more things. But as I move on, early in the international Gothic style began in the 13th century, which is what I said, with the Northwestern Europe type style. The buildings were original cathedral, St. Denis, the high vaulted ceilings flying with trusses, windows full of stained glass were dominant. You also have like the Reims Cathedral in 1211 through 1212 by a Mason, Jean de Auguste. I don't know if that's how you say it, but you know, that's as best as I could do. Also, you know, the Lyon Cathedral is another popular example of the Canterbury Cathedral in England, which is heavily influenced by Lyon Cathedral. High Gothic began around 1250, 1300, when Europe was dominated by art and architecture from France, most likely because King Louis the... Come here, tell me what this is. What is this? What number is it?
The 9.
Okay, it's the 9. I don't know Roman numerals. They say a dumb person doesn't ask questions, so I'm pretty smart. So obviously, Mr. the Ninth, King Louis himself, not the drink, because that's the 13th. But during the time, building sizes were being pushed to incredible limits. An example of these gargantuan buildings is Huevis Cathedral, which was never completed due to safety issues concerned with the building size. As we move on, during the second later phase, known as the Rayonnet of Tenant, the new style was characterized by increasingly complicated geometric decorations and structural forms, decorations that took form of the upright spire, cape, piers, and pinnacles, molding, and the window tracery. In conclusion, the Gothic era was an era of original and elaborate paintings that we could never sit here in a range of time to even talk about, which is why I summarized it. Second, its sculpture and architecture is also something that was such an original thing about them. And also to see the remaining buildings of the Gothic era is to look into a period of elegance and monumental buildings in a time that was really dark, and a lot of things are still a mystery, and filled with scripture and rich in history. I mean, that's towards like the beginning as far as when we actually start putting numbers and putting things together as far as really consistent architectural pieces around the world. So at the end of the day, I mean, we always were growing as humans and humanity, but in this period of time when people were like done trying to figure out how the wheel works, they kind of already understood that and were progressing. So it's kind of good to see the developmental stages from that. But I'm done talking to y'all, and please get out of my face. Love you.
I would live in that time.
Well, that's